Did I think I was going to get to this point? No, and not this quickly. Welcome, friends and Unni crew. It is the season 1 finale. Oh my gosh, it is episode 12. And if you are listening to this for the very first time, go back to the very beginning and start over. Start with episode 1 and continue on because this was a journey and I want you to be part of the ride and enjoy for the fun because this is going to be a fun take back moment. And we're going to definitely highlight some things that we talked about, some of my favorite moments, some things I'm going to reflect on, some numbers, where I'm at today, talking about the different countries all over the world that are listening right now. Shout out to you. You're all so kind. Thank you for anyone that's listened to this podcast and has also hit my icon, my G's Caleb logo. I'm super thankful for each and every one of you. We're also going to be talking about things that almost didn't make it on the pod, some funny moments, and some unexpected feedback. And of course, our star episode, we're going to touch on that. And I'm going to do a little story time with you before we even jump into that. It's going to be a short story because I've been asked this a couple times why I decided to do this podcast. And here is the answer in a short story form. Basically, I came to a realization that this was probably a sign. So let me go into that. Before I started the podcast, a couple of things happened to me in 3 different stores. I remember them being TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Costco. And when I was in Costco, this actually happened when I was with my bestie Barbara. But the first time this happened was in Marshalls. And I remember going in there, shopping around and into TJ and I like to go into TJ Maxx and Marshalls to see what kind of good stuff they have. Just because you go into those aisles, friends, does not mean that everything that they sell that is a Korean product is good for you. You really have to do your research. I know you've heard me say that before, but I truly mean it. You have to know which brands to look out for and when to take those home with you. But I remember going into the aisles of like the sheet masks, of course. I like going into the sheet mask aisle because sometimes TJ Maxx and Marshalls will have Japanese sheet masks, and those are actually hidden gems. Korean products are good, and so are Japanese products. It's just harder for you to get your hands on the Japanese products. So if you find these, you kind of have to dig and be familiar of like what the different brand packaging looks like. So you just never know. Just go in there like once every like month if that's how regularly you like to go. You'll definitely find something. Let's get back on track. As I was digging around and looking, I noticed this lady kind of stopped mid in her tracks and she just kind of looked at me and saw what I was doing. And then she said, "Well, all these sheet masks are now going to be in Korean, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, because they're the best ones." I mean, her face kind of lit up like a Christmas tree, like a "what do you mean?" She was very intrigued, I could tell, because my response, was basically that. And I said, Korea has like the top best skincare right now, and it's very popular and it's so good for your skin. I think we just talked for about 5 to 10 minutes, and I was asking her the main questions that I was wanting to know, which was like, what is your skin type? What are you looking for? What do you need? What are some of the issues that you want to try to correct? Some of the things that she mentioned, she wanted to find a toner that was hydrating. She was looking for something to help with wrinkles. And so I recommended her probably like 3 products, and she ended up buying all 3 of them. And that right there, it was like the push start button that I needed for this podcast. I realized that I loved talking about skincare. And I love talking about skincare, not only skincare. I love talking about Korean snacks and food and their culture and K-pop and K-dramas. And I don't like to be limited to just one subject. My podcast has to be all of it because I love all of it. And that was pretty much the reason why I started this podcast, because I found myself not only talking to my coworkers, not only talking to my friends, of course, I talk to my family, and it just became something that is infectious, you know? It's like once you start, you can't stop because you have a passion for something, and that's usually how it goes. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys because I just love talking about Korean everything. So there you go. That is the first part of this episode. And now we're going to reflect on season one. I started this in October, so it hasn't even been a year yet. But so far, we have 9 different countries tuning in, and I'm going to name those today. So we do have the United States, we have the United Kingdom, Suriname, South Korea. We've got Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Suriname, Albania, and Russia has just recently been added. Thank you to everyone who chose to hit play and even taking interest in my logo. As of today, we do have a star episode that has reached 230 plays on its own, and that is episode 6, part 2 of my South Korea trip. I think a lot of people are interested in Korea travel, and it's something that you want to hear about. Everyone's going to have a different experience. There's people from different cultures that are visiting and people you don't get to see every day. As of today, we have a total of 1,500 plays. Thank you, Unni Crew. We also have 28 followers on board. And if you haven't hit that follow button and you like what you're hearing, go ahead and hit that right now. That way you can be notified whenever I drop an episode for season 2. It's been crazy. This has been like a learning curve. I know what I need to work on, and that's okay. I just know it's going to be a little bit different in the future, but you'll just have to stay tuned and see what that's like. We're going to have more guest people on our show, maybe some returning guests as well. Yeah, it's going to be loads of fun. One of the topics that I did want to touch on was the funniest episode. I think the funniest episode would have to be hands down Kevin's episode when we did Soulful Snacks, and I introduced him to like 3 or 4 different snacks. Kevin is just so easy going to talk to. I loved having him on the show. I love hanging out with him. He's just so fun and he makes me laugh, and his personality. If you haven't heard him, you got to click on that episode and listen in. Kevin, I know that you've been wanting to come back onto the lounge, and you will be invited. But season 1 is going to be wrapping up, so stay tuned for season 2. Another thing that I would like to reflect on is the most emotional comments that I got this season, and that was from my Aunt Lucy in Woodlake, California. Now, this is literally why she got this topic mentioned. She's around getting, she's up there in age. I'm not going to tell you how old she is, but she's definitely up there in age, and she is not a techie person. While I'm on the phone with her, I have to walk her through steps of how to send an image through a text message. And it's like, okay, now do you see where this icon is? It looks like this. Okay, hit that. Now go back and find my name. And it's like that kind of stuff, guys. So once she heard Barbara's episode, I believe it's episode 4, Barbara's skin story, she went on there to type a comment, and it's not a perfect comment, but the fact that she was still willing to leave something like that, for a lifetime, to me, it definitely touched my heart, because it's so hard to just get her to send even just a text message, or to kind of just navigate her through the beautiful world of electronics and the World Wide Web. It just meant a lot to me, because she gets frustrated, and she gives up, and she's just like, never mind, Gwen. So thank you, Lucy. I know you're going to listen to this episode. Thank you so much. Let's jump into what almost didn't make it into the pod. Okay, so during this moment, I was kind of going back and forth on this episode, and it is Beauty and the Sheet. And I was really excited to do this. I really wanted to do this episode. And then I thought, I'm trying on 3 different sheet masks 3 different times, and you guys can't see me. But I also realized at that point, like, wait a second, would I want to see me for 20 minutes just wearing a mask on a video? No. So that was kind of like the contradicting point, and I didn't know if I wanted to publish that episode, but I realized this is a podcast, so Nowadays, yeah, there is video, but there's also those episodes where it's just about being on a mic and you're not able to see the person, in a video or, through a camera lens. And so I realized that there's people that are probably cleaning their house or they're probably driving. So they're not going to be able to see you anyways. And that would be very dangerous. So highly do not recommend that. I'm not promoting that. But yeah, I realized if I'm driving somewhere and I just want to listen, with my ears, then it's okay. It's the same thing in a way as just promoting a product or telling you if I like it. And, you can go to Instagram and see it for yourself or see which product I'm talking about. And if you want to buy it, then you can buy it. If you don't, you don't. But I almost didn't publish Beauty and the Sheet, but I love Beauty and the Sheet. I love trying different sheet masks and recommending the ones that work and the ones that don't work. I'm just like, don't try. But it's just so fun to me to try them because they're all different. They all feel different. They have different benefits, and there's so many sheet masks out there that I mean, can I try them all? No, but I want to try as many as I can while I'm still on this beautiful earth. I don't want to give up Beauty and the Sheet. So if that's not your favorite episode, I totally get it. I think it's fun. I think first impressions are good. Um, and they're interesting and they're very informative. So, another thing that didn't make it on the pod, guys, and I just realized like I didn't mention this during my part 2 South Korea trip, was a very important piece of information. And I was like, oh my gosh, listening back to it, I was like, I forgot to mention this. So now I'm mentioning this now, and I'm sorry it's a little late, but hey, if you're listening to this and you're gonna go to South Korea, keep this in mind. When we went to Lotte, I remember seeing a bunch of young girls and boys wearing, and I would probably say like high school, maybe like eighth graders, wearing like uniforms. And I thought, oh my gosh, they must have gotten out of school and they must have planned this. And they were like, yeah, everybody wear your uniforms. We're going to the park. But it was summer. And so then I was like, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense because everyone was out of school. And that's why the lines were ridiculously long. And then as I was turning the corner on the top floor of Lotte World, there was a store that had a bunch of uniforms in there. And then I realized that this was a store that you can rent the actual uniforms from different schools in South Korea. How cool. Okay, I was, of course, freaking out like a little kid. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I want Violet to wear this. It was like kind of like a dream come true, kind of like a bucket list checklist to kind of see her in a South Korea uniform. And because I was just, of course, in my little mind, I was like, oh my gosh, if Violet was a transfer student, she'd get to wear these cute little uniforms and blah, blah, blah. But did she want to wear it? No. And so, of course, my little dream there got shattered. But I begged. I really did. And I said, "Come on, Violet, come on." And she was like, "No." And that was pretty much where the dream ended. I just wanted to let you know that if you go to South Korea, there is a place like right around the corner. It's like literally inside the park where you can rent the uniforms. And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. So, yeah, I wanted to mention that in my video or in my episode, and it just slipped my mind somehow. And folks, I know that there's still room where I need to improve on. Like, for example, the whole editing thing, I use the Riverside app. So if you've ever thought about creating your own podcast, I highly recommend downloading the Riverside app. There is a monthly subscription, but I've looked into other recording apps, and this one seems to be the easiest one for me because when you record, it translates everything into like word form so you can see it on your computer, and then you just highlight words that you don't want and backspace, and they're gone. And so it's really kind of like you're typing an essay, like in a way. It makes it super easy for you to use. I really like the app, and I'm still new to this. This is the last episode of season one. I've only done 12 so far. So I still feel like a newbie, and I'm not really into the whole technical world. Like, I don't know how to use a lot of apps. I don't really download apps with games, and just want to do the basic, most simplest thing when it comes to technology, because I was born in an era where we didn't have phones in our hands as toddlers. That actually didn't come until I was probably in college when I had my very first flip phone. So, not very techy, but I think I'm getting better as I go. And when I started this, I didn't know if anyone in San Luis cared about Korean culture the way I do. I didn't know if my little lounge would feel little forever, but it didn't. We grew 28 followers and 1,500 total plays. That might not sound big, but to me, that definitely means something. It means there's space here. It means Korean culture deserves a place in rooms where it hasn't been talked about. And it means that I'm not the only one who thinks this matters. This season taught me that I don't have to be the loudest voice to make an impact. I just have to be consistent, honest, and rooted in why I started. And this isn't just a podcast about K-pop or skincare or dramas. It's about being curious. It's about being different. It's about bringing something beautiful into spaces that haven't seen it yet. And we're just getting started. Season one is officially wrapped. I'm taking one intentional week off just to breathe, plan, and level up a little bit. So, no episode next week, but don't go anywhere. I'll be back on April 22nd for season two. Season two will grow with us. That's all I'll say for now. Hey, everyone. I love hearing your feedback for the next episode. I'd really love to know what's your favorite type of segment or topic. Drop me a comment, message, or let me know what keeps you tuning in. If you're enjoying the show, leaving a quick rating on Spotify really helps more people discover the podcast. But if you've been here since the beginning, or if you've just found me last week, you're part of this. This is G's K Love Lounge, and there's always a seat for you here. I'll see you next season. Bye bye.